Good evening, this is BelGeode and we are back with some more Microsoft Flight Simulator X Steam Edition. And tonight is a special Pre-FlightSimCon 2017 episode. So we're back here at K-PIT, Pittsburgh International Airport, and we're going to take it back to where it all started with the Albatross, the L-39, one of my absolute favorite aircraft in FSX and also in DCS, believe it or not, even though you haven't seen me show it very often. Alright, so what am I doing tonight? Well, aviation-wise, I'm going to be flying straight from Pittsburgh all the way to Connecticut, to Windsor Locks in particular, the home of FlightSimCon 2017 at Bradley International Airport, or KBDL. So it should be a little bit over an hour-long flight. I will, of course, edit certain portions of it, but I also wanted to get a chance to actually just chit-chat with you, the viewing audience, my loyal viewers here. And I kind of want to give you my thoughts on what has been going on in the flight sim community of late. And let me just tell you, just straight off the bat, I am really, really excited about all the things that are happening in the flight sim community right now. So among the things that we're going to talk about will, of course, be the two new sims, that being Prepared version 4 as well as Dovetail Games Flight Sim World, as well as what that means to me and how important I think each of the two sims are going to be, at least from my perspective. And then we'll take it from there. But we'll get into all of that. First, let's start the aircraft. First thing I'm going to say is, even though I've been flying this aircraft off and on in DCS, I don't fly it often enough to completely remember everything. It looks like most of my switches are already on. I don't know why that is, but we're going to want the battery on first. There we go. Since the instrument switches are on, those are already coming up, so let's go ahead and put the avionics on as well. That way we can get our comms and our GPS. Of course, in this particular version of the Albatross, we have to turn on the GPS. There we go. Looking sweet. You can see the beginnings of our flight plan right there, and it's actually pointing in the wrong direction because we're going east, not west. Alright. Let's see. I do not have a checklist for this. Oh, what's that yellow light there? Oh, yeah. I know what that is. Okay. That was wherever there's a discrepancy in like the headings and so on and so forth, that light goes on. Alright, first things first, let's get some instrument lights. And while we're at it, we should probably also turn on our beacon. Assuming I can hit it with this mouse. That's the only thing I don't like about using EasyDock. It's kind of sensitive when I move the mouse. Eventually I will get Track IR again, or an Oculus Rift. But that won't be today. Alright, Saphir turbine engine starter has been started. And let's go ahead and get some oxygen flowing as well. I believe that is this switch here. Okay, yeah, it looks like we got full tanks. This is good. Alright, so we'll wait for the yellow light from the Saphir turbine engine starter. There it is. Which means we can now flip the blue cover and turn on the engine. That simple. It's like that in real life too. It is that simple. I would still love to be able to fly this aircraft in real life. However, unless there's somebody out here in Western PA who wants to take me up for a ride, and I don't see anybody around, at least virtually, then yeah, this will have to do. Alright, engine is up to snuff. This is good. Okay, let's go ahead and close our canopy. There we go, canopy is closed, and we're going to need to put the pressurization on, which is that blue slider to the right-hand side. There we go. Okay. Alright, I suppose we should probably get the rest of the lights on. Oh, before I do anything else, I'm going to want to make sure that anti-ice is on. Otherwise, the cockpit canopy will completely fog up. So you can see the light is on, de-icing on. Alright, generators are both on, and all the caution lights that should be off are now off. This is good. Alright, flaps we're going to need to set to takeoff flaps, but before I do that, let me set our radar altitude here. I'm thinking decision height for this should be about 100. So right there should be good. Okay, let's make sure everything else looks sweet. Yep. Alright. Okay, let's get the weather.
Pittsburgh Airport information. Yankee 16410. Wind 240 is 12. Visibility greater than 20 miles. Sky condition altitude 10,000 scattered. Temperature 26, 2.13. Altimeter 29991. ILS runway 28. Left ILS runway 28. Right hand visual runway 28. Center. Landing and departing runway 28. Left runway 28. Right hand runway 28. Center. The FR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instruction. Advise controller on initial contact you have Yankee.
Okay, we have Yankee, and we are going to depart to the east, even though we are taking off to the west. Pittsburgh ground, BelGeode 70 with Yankee. Request taxi to the active, departure to the east.
BelGeode 70, taxi holding 13, runway 28, right, using taxiway. November.
Set the flaps here.
Tower 135.025, when ready.
Okay. Taxiing, hold short, runway 28 right, using taxiway November, BelGeode 70. Alright, let's make one quick cursory glance. Oh, nav lights. Yes, I think I'm going to need to turn you on. And taxi lights, landing lights. Wait, I'm not in DCS. DCS has both taxi and landing lights setting. This, I think, only has landing lights. Right now, the landing lights should be on. I can't right mouse click it. Okay, well, we're going to have to deal with that. Make sure both of them are on. Yes, they are. Okay. We are good to go. And let's see. We got full tank of gas. That's the gauge to the right with the yellow. Yeah, it looks like everything is pretty much set to go, and we are at neutral trim. I'll adjust that accordingly throughout this flight. Controls wipeout is complete. Everything looks good. And this is another little view that I set up that I call the GoPro Cam. So we might be using this from time to time. Okay, brakes are off. And next stop is going to be runway 28 right via taxiway November. Alright, we are pulling up to 28 right. So I am going to stop us right about here. I didn't see any traffic coming in, but that could change in a moment's notice here in Pittsburgh. Alright, emergency brakes are on. And I'm going to need to get the radio up so that way I can do the call that I need to make. Oh, before I do that, let's hit the strobes here. Alright, there we go. That's everything else. I keep thinking there's something missing. Oh, there we go, pitot heat. Alright, landing lights on. Trim is set to neutral. I can probably bump that up a couple notches, but we'll see if that works out. Okay, let's go ahead and call the tower. Pittsburgh Tower, BelGeode 70 at runway 28 right, ready for departure, east departure.
BelGeode 70, cleared for takeoff, runway 28 right, departure to the east approved.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 28 right, BelGeode 70. There's the tower. Okay, so no traffic coming in, no traffic going out. I would say this runway is free and clear, so let's go ahead and get the emergency brakes off, and we'll move into position. You know, it never ceases to amaze me just how quiet this aircraft is from inside the cockpit. I wonder if the real aircraft is like that. Alright, let's see if we can get lined up here. It's not going to be perfect. The wheel's a little squirrely. Okay, right there looks good. Alrighty, folks, you know what it's time for. brakes down and throttles up. Alright, this is going to happen quickly. This is V1. This is VR. And V2. We're up. Gear coming up. Flaps coming up. Okay, we are clean. Oh yeah, there's going to be a lot of radio chatter. Pittsburgh departure, BelGeode 70, type experimental, 3 miles west of Pittsburgh, 2,700. Request clearance to transition Bravo airspace.
BelGeode 70, Pittsburgh departure, squawk 6235.
Okay. Squawk 6235, BelGeode 70.
BelGeode 70, identified 3 miles west of Pittsburgh, 4,200. Advisory, clearance Bravo airspace.
Cleared through the Bravo airspace, BelGeode 70. Okay, good deal.
BelGeode 70, traffic at 6 o'clock.
Wait,
4
what?
miles at 1,300. Embraer 10. Report to the site.
Oh, I see him. Okay. Yeah, he's back there. BelGeode 70, have the traffic.
Pittsburgh departure, Richard 3366.
Okay. Alright, so let's go ahead and swing around to the east and we'll pick up our GPS track. There is no autopilot in this aircraft. Even though it's got a GPS, we got a hand fly the whole flight. That is going to be fun. But that is also one of the things that I truly do enjoy about the Albatross. It's hands-on flying. Can't go wrong with that. Wow, that was quick. Squawk 1200, frequency change approved, BelGeode 70. Dang. I guess we went over the airspace. I thought we went through the airspace. Alright, looks like we're going to talk to Cleveland Center. Cleveland Control, BelGeode 70, type experimental, 5 miles east of 88 Papa Alpha, request flight following.
BelGeode 70, Cleveland Control, squawk 0177.
Alright. Squawk 0177, BelGeode 70.
BelGeode 70, radar contact 5 miles northwest of Pittsburgh, 10,500, altimeter 2991.
Copy, BelGeode 70. Okay, so she says we are over 10,000. As you can see below and to the right, that is Cape Pitt. That is Pittsburgh International with its trademark X-shaped passenger terminals. We were parked on the other side of the airport, which incidentally is where they had the air show that I showed you all on YouTube last month. Alright, let's get those lights off. Okay, we're looking good. Now we're going to take it up to, let's see, I think I'm going to take it up to over about 21,000 feet. I know they said you're supposed to be at odd-numbered altitudes when you're heading east and even-numbered altitudes when you're heading west. But I'm thinking either 21 or 23,000 should be good. Okay, we're going to need to swing out a little bit to the left. The clouds, of course, are Active Sky Cloud Art, which I think is absolutely phenomenal looking. I've got it running with Active Sky Next. I do not yet have Active Sky 16. However, I am planning on getting that in light of some of the recent news that's been coming out, which we're going to talk about in a moment. But before we get to that, I have a special request of all of you. As you know, this video precedes my being in FlightSimCon this weekend. More than likely you will be seeing this video either Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday shortly before I get on the plane Thursday to head to Connecticut. What I would like you to do, and I can't promise to be able to fulfill everybody's request, if you have questions of the developers, any of the developers, I have an interview that I'm slated to do with Mr. Stephen Hood from Dovetail Games flight sim world. But if you have questions for any of the other developers and whatnot, please let me know in the comments. Write your question there. One question. Don't give me like 5 billion different questions that are totally unrelated to various subjects. Just one question that you would like to know from any of the devs, whether it be Rex or Aerosoft or Orbix or any of the people that are going to be there. There are going to be a lot of people there. Oh, hold on a second. Got to take care of business here. Changing to 128.45, BelGeode 70. Good day. Alright, Cleveland Center. Cleveland Center, BelGeode 70 with you. Okay, there we go. And hey, look at that. That is downtown Pittsburgh, looking sharp. You can see the green and yellow stadium there. That is, of course, Heinz Field, where the Steelers play, and such a beautiful sight to see that in any flight sim. I'm still waiting for X-Plane to hook me up. Actually, I'm more waiting for Giovetsky to hook me up. He hasn't said whether or not he's taken the bait yet or he's going to do Pittsburgh, but it is my hope that somebody will do that. Alright, but we didn't come here to talk about Pittsburgh, did we? Of course not. We came here to talk about flight sims, so let's get right to it. Now, please bear in mind, these are only my opinions on what's been going on based on my observations and some of the discussions that I've had with various developers, as well as, of course, fellow YouTubers and other flight simmers and so on and so forth. Really? I'm getting ready to talk and you're telling me about Embraer E170s. Where is he? 9 o'clock, 2 miles. I don't see nothing. I think I see him over there. I'm going to tell them I see him. Come on, let me talk here. BelGeode 70, have the traffic. Okay. There we go. Now, give me 1 second here, because it looks like we're heading down. We do not need to be heading down. We need to be heading up. Okay, there we go. Looks like we're just past 20,000 feet, so probably about another 1,000 feet. Let me see if I can trim this sucker up. Trimming this thing is always the hardest part, by the way. Alright, but anyway, getting back on course. I guess the first thing I want to talk about is P3D. Now, I have never used P3D, any of the versions. I've always heard about P3D, but I have never once used it. And I have to admit, it kind of took me by surprise when P3D version 4 was announced. Of course, we had all heard they were working on a 64-bit version, but if you've been gaming as long as any of us, you know, whenever somebody says they're working on it or uses the term soon with the TM, the trademark symbol after it, you know it could be a while. Alright, had to check to make sure my oxygen was still on there. Yep, it is. Okay. So yeah, when it comes to P3D, I will readily admit I know not much about it, but I'm willing to explore the possibilities, and I'll explain that in a moment. Truth be told, folks, as far as Prepared is concerned, the major reason why I have not purchased it is because I was always under the impression that you basically have to show proof that you are in training to be a pilot, or in order to get like an academic license. And then of course you still have a little thing that says academic license in the upper right hand corner, which I hate watermarks. You may notice this FSX video has absolutely nothing on the screen in the corners, as you would see on most FSX videos. So because of that, and because of the uncertainty as to how I'm supposed to even get it, if I'm planning on using it for entertainment and not actual training, has kind of made me feel like, well, you know, Prepared just isn't for me. But with that being said, in light of the fact that version 4 is coming out, and couple that with the fact that a lot of the aircraft that I'm really interested in, and if you know anything about this channel, you know the #1 plane is going to be the Tomcat. When I start hearing that people like Dino Catania are on board for P3D and has already pretty much converted half his fleet to P3D V4, Tomcat, he said that he may have to completely redo, because unfortunately that was one of the source files that he lost when he had that big ransomware thing a few months back or whatnot. So if he has to redo the Tomcat, he's going to be doing it from scratch, and he has not 100% said yet that he is planning on doing that. But if he is, I'm going to tell you right now, where Dino's Tomcat goes, I go. If you're a regular viewer of my channel, you know just how much the Tomcat means to me and why I'm looking forward to it in every sim that's supposed to have it. As I'm sure you've already seen, I was able to get it into Flight Sim World. There are obvious problems, of course, being with the 32-bit gauges that need to be converted over to 64. And unfortunately, until Dino can find a working solution for that, I'm pretty much at the limits of my programming and modding capabilities for the Tomcat in Flight Sim World. Unless, of course, Dovetail themselves have a change of heart and figure out some way to make third-party developers and things like FSUIPC a part of their platform, which right now, they haven't said much. I gotta admit, I'm really looking forward to hearing what Lockheed Martin has to say about Prepared, because up until now, they always gave me the impression that they were looking for a certain type of customer. But the fact that they're willing to go to FlightSimCon and present there, the fact that their announcement, Prepared version 4, comes hot on the heels of their competition's announcement of their new flight sim, strikes me as a little bit too coincidental. That is not to say it's a bad thing, mind you. Like I said, competition is great. But what it sounds to me like is happening, at least from Lockheed's point of view, it sounds like they are opening up their market a little bit. And also, let's not forget that since that announcement, damn near every developer is now like, hey, we are compatible. So yeah, it just seems to me that the timing couldn't be more perfect, as it were, and because of that, and because of everything that I'm hearing after the fact about all the various developers who, some of which even had their offerings available day one, yeah, I'm thinking there's a little bit more going on behind the scenes than any of us really know. Alright, time to get back to work. Over to 126.725, BelGeode 70. Bye-bye. Cleveland Control, BelGeode 70 with you.
BelGeode 70, Cleveland Control, roger.
Okay, good deal. And it looks like we are about to make a little bit of a right turn here. So I'm going to do that real quick. But yeah, I am seriously thinking about the prospect of P3D. Now, bear in mind, if I do decide to purchase it, I will not be getting 3.4. Come on, guys. Over to 134.8, BelGeode 70. Goodbye.
14635, turn right heading 335.
New York Control, BelGeode 70 with you.
BelGeode 70, New York Control, roger.
Thank you. So yeah, I am not planning on getting P3D version 3.4. That to me seems pretty useless. Why do I want what is ostensibly another copy of FSX? I already have FSX Steam on here, and as you can see, it looks pretty good and it performs quite well. Thank you very much. I don't really see the need to get 3.4. But 4.0 is a whole different animal. And part of the reason why I'm even thinking about getting 4.0 is because of what's going on with Dovetail Games. As I'm sure you're aware, I always like to root for the underdog. So yeah, you're going to be seeing a few Flight Sim World videos as time goes on, as they start adding more things, as I do more experiments to basically try to make the sim do what I would like it to do. Yeah, you're going to see a lot more coming from Dovetail. However, the problem that I have with Dovetail right now, the biggest problem that I have with Dovetail right now, is their apparent lack of communication. Look at how long we went before we even knew that this sim was in fact coming. Granted, they kind of sprung it on us out of left field, and yeah, I'm really glad for that, and I'm glad that we've got it, and now that, you know, it's out, the work can really start beginning in order to get it to where it should be. But that's just the thing. Is it going to be another several months before we start hearing about this aspect of the sim coming out and that aspect of the sim coming out? Helicopters, prime example. That's a topic that myself and Sergio from HeliSimmer have been going on about. That's very important. The helicopter community might not be as large as, you know, the general flight simming community. Look at those beautiful clouds. But you better believe it is one of the most passionate portions of the community. Now, I don't think that P3D is any better as far as helicopters go. I will say, in Dovetail's defense, I do like the fact that they're basically taking it back to the drawing board to try and give us a better helicopter sim. Oh, what's going on here? Oh, wingtip tanks are empty. Alright, well, we still have plenty of gas, so we should be able to make it there with no problem. But yeah, P3D, as far as I know, has not said anything about upgrading or improving the flight dynamics for helicopters in that particular sim. Now, we always have alternatives. Guess what? There's X-Plane 11. And I gotta say, the developers that have been making helicopters for X-Plane 11, Dreamfoil Creation comes to mind, X-Trident come to mind. Absolutely phenomenal work they have done. They have managed to get their helicopters upgraded to X-Plane 11 in short order. This is good. This is what I like to see as far as development goes in the community. And hang on one second here. I am going to do some preparatory work here. The ILS frequency for the runway we're going to be coming in on is 111.10, so I figured I'd set that in advance here. Alright, everything else looks good to go, and I'm a little bit off course. I'm going to need to swing to the right. But yeah, when it comes to things like helicopters, which is something that is extremely important to me, I know that I've got X-Plane 11, and that's a primary reason why I use X-Plane 11. Over to 124.9er, BelGeode 70. Bye-bye. I'll continue my thought in a second here. New York Control, BelGeode 70 with you.
BelGeode 70, New York Control, roger.
Okay. So yeah, when it comes to helicopters, yes, X-Plane 11, that is the major reason why I bought X-Plane 11, and that is one of the major reasons why I intend to continue using it. Of course, you will see some other types of aircraft there, but primarily I do want X-Plane to be my helicopter sim. Now, with that having been said, there is also DCS World. DCS World has, of course, two of my favorite helicopters, the Huey and the Hip. There are other helicopters in there, but I'll be honest with you, I have only flown the Gazelle once, and I have only flown the Black Shark twice. Neither helicopter, even though I own them, they don't really strike me as the kind of things that I want to fly. I know I could probably pay more attention to them and, you know, give them a little bit of love. I don't see that happening anytime in the very near future. Not when I am, for all intents and purposes, better versed on the hip and on the Huey, and I actually love those two, so you know, I might use them. Now, if they do get other helicopters like the Chinook or the Apache or even the Hind Mi-24 into DCS, then I'm probably going to be doing a lot more with that as well. Changing to 132.5, BelGeode 70. Good day. New York Control, BelGeode 70 with you.
BelGeode 70, New York Control, roger.
And the other thing to remember too, I still do helicopters here in FSX Steam. And the reason for that is because of things like HTR, Helicopter Total Realism. We already know that the flight dynamics are horrible for helicopters here in FSX, but Mr. Fred Nahr has been working tirelessly to change that. What I would really like to see is for Fred to work with both Dovetail Games and Lockheed Martin on their sims. Okay, looks like we got about 200 miles to go till we hit Bradley, so we are making pretty good time here. The reason why I just did that little extended exterior view is I wanted to kind of show off what I've done with FSX. You've been seeing it for all these episodes now. It's been an evolving process. If you find the very first FSX episode that I put up and compare it to this side by side, you will see a marked improvement. One of the things that I really go for, aside from, you know, the whole aspect of realism, which this is probably as real as it's ever going to get in FSX, are the graphics. You will notice that I try to make my colors pretty vibrant. I love having stuff like Steve's DX10 Fixer that has the cloud shadows in there. That's the kind of stuff that I look for. Now, I say that to bring up this point. The difference between what I see so far about P3D version 4 versus Dovetail Games Flight Sim World, I like the artistic direction that Dovetail Games is taking Flight Sim World. I like that it's vibrant. Well, of course, if you really want to get down to brass tacks, if we're really going to have an all-out which graphics blow me away kind of war between FSX Steam, Prepared version 4, Dovetail Games Flight Sim World, DCS, and X-Plane, I'm going to go with X-Plane. Seriously, out of all of those sims, I think X-Plane has some of the best looking graphics, especially when you add things like Ortho for XP in there. Sometimes when I take screenshots just before I'll edit a video and put up for you guys, I am absolutely awed by what I see. It almost looks totally like a photo. That is what I really ultimately would like to have, especially once I get the Oculus Rift. Because once my head is in this totally, I want complete and total and utter immersion. Let me see, what's our hydraulic pressure? Okay. I was wondering why there was a little bit of a discrepancy there. One is the backup gauge. Let me do a quick scan and make sure everything's in order, because I've been chit-chatting a whole hell of a lot, and I'm a little bit off course here. Looks like I'm going to need to trim to the left. Okay, there we go. Alright, so let me take a little break from chit-chatting with you for a while, and we'll just fly here. Okay, it's now a couple minutes later. Let me get my camera set up back the way that I would like. Nope, we don't want the GoPro cam. I need the free look cam. There we go. Otherwise known as my poor man's track IR. Okay, we need to make a left turn right here. Look at that. See, that is what I like. Now, if this were in X-Plane, the ground would look phenomenal. The clouds, not so much. Even though I have X-Enviro and SkyMax Pro, trying to decide which of the two needs to be used on a more permanent basis is proving rather difficult, because they both have pros and cons to them. And I hate to say it, but I actually do like the default clouds that are in X-Plane. Now that I've had the chance to see what they did to improve them, they look pretty damn good. They look better than this. I hate to say it. And I think this is really, really good. Now, as far as Dovetail Games Flight Sim World, I like where their clouds are at. I think I may have mentioned it before in my Tomcat test video. I do like their starting place for the clouds. I think that looks pretty decent. As far as Prepared, I really don't have any experience with it, but from what I've seen, it does kind of look similar to this, and we do have confirmation that High Fidelity, the makers of Active Sky Next, Active Sky 16, and of course what you're looking at right now, Active Sky Cloud Art, they're already ready to go for P3D. So I would say it's definitely on par with this. I do want you to know, folks, that I'm not the kind of person who's got like gobs of money to throw at flight simulators. Ever since I gave up music, I really put my heart into flight simming and ultimately making YouTube videos and stuff like that. But I do have finite resources, so obviously there is going to come a time eventually where I'm going to have to kind of sort of pick a side. So what are my choices? We already know, I've already established, I have to have helicopters. And what is he going on about? Okay, you know, I don't see a Boeing 737 around here. 10 o'clock. Yeah, I got nothing, man. I don't see any Boeing 737 over here. Come on, let me talk. That's what I get for putting the traffic at 50%. BelGeode 70, don't have the traffic. Okay, so yeah, helicopters, big thing with me, very important. So X-Plane, that's a given. DCS, that's a given. I'm going to be throwing money to them, especially if they start bringing in more helicopters that I'm interested in, such as the heavies. Hint, hint. Give me some Chinooks. Give me some, what now? 2 o'clock, 4 miles, flight level 201. Okay, 757. Alright, let's see if we can see this guy. Where the hell are these airplanes? I see nothing. You know what, I'm just going to tell him I see it, and yeah, that'll shut him up, I guess. Provided they will let me talk. Oh, come on! Ah. BelGeode 70, have the traffic. Okay. Alright, but as far as helicopters go, those two are a given. What remains to be seen is what's going to happen on the P3D and Flight Sim World front. But you know, as much as I would love to be known as the Helo guy, I can't in good conscience say that I would only ever specialize in helicopters. I know me. I have very varied interests, and I'm sure a lot of you watching this also have very varied interests. That's part of the reason why I can't really pigeonhole myself to any one particular sim. But I will say this, one thing that I really enjoy is carrier ops. So I'm going to tell you right now, the sim that does carrier ops the best is probably the one that I'm going to spend the most time in. And you may have noticed from the engine whine and the distinct change in attitude, we are at top of descent. So I'm going to see if I can bring us down below this cloud deck here, and then we'll get set to put in procedures and bring ourselves into Bradley. Speaking of carrier ops, I do want to touch on something really quick here. I did find it interesting that in P3D, AI carriers is confirmed to work, whereas Dovetail Games Flight Sim World, a couple of the commands that go hand in hand with carriers, most notably putting down your launch bar and takeoff assist from a carrier deck, don't even exist in the list of commands. Not only that, but when you look through the boats, there is the default carrier, but there is nothing in the sim at all to even draw attention to it. That concerns me a little bit. One of the experiments that I plan on doing is to see if I can actually get AI carriers to work in Dovetail Games Flight Sim World. I don't know if anyone else has performed that test yet, but I will probably do that once I get back from FlightSimCon and share the details with you. Because I would love to see how my Tomcat is going to handle it in that sim. And then as far as prepared goes, since we've already confirmed that that works, honestly, that's another selling point for prepared version 4 right there. I have to seriously consider that as an option. Of course, look at who makes it. Lockheed Martin, who is one of the biggest maker of military aircraft. Seriously, I can't even have a cutscene in peace? Changing to 132.6, BelGeode 70. Good day! New York Control, BelGeode 70 with you. Damn, we are really in the thick of this piece suit now. Holy crap, all of a sudden this is an IFR flight. Jeez! Why am I to the right there? Hold on a second here, folks. Let me see if I can fix my situation here. Wow. Okay, we're going to need to definitely veer to the left here. Crap, that's an awful lot of turbulence. Holy crap. Let's hear it for active sky next. Sheesh. Okay, well this is giving me a workout here. Alright. Ah, here we go, here we go. 134.3, BelGeode 70. Okay, we'll change the channel here. Oh, no more clouds, please. Boston Control, BelGeode 70 with you. Ugh, more clouds. Okay, altimeter set, 29.907. Oh, what now? Seriously? Contact New York approach on 132.75, BelGeode 70. Thanks for the help, bye. But wait, Boston Control, BelGeode 70 with you. The real question is, why am I still with you? I thought I was contacting New York. Alright, you know what? I'm not even gonna worry about it at this point in time. Well, I guess if there's a bright side, we are getting closer and closer to Bradley, so as I'm making this flight in my mind, I am getting closer and closer to FlightSimCon. Ah, look at that beautiful scenery and the cloud shadows and everything. That is what I'm talking about, folks. When I hop into an aircraft, any aircraft, in a flight sim, I want to see stuff like this. I would love it if this were more photorealistic, but the difference in the cloud shadows and so on. This is reason why I still have FSX Steam Edition on my computer. The fact that I'm able to tweak it and get this kind of a result. Of course, I would also give very high marks to X-Plane 11. Now that I've figured out the whole secret to the ortho for XP, that has really revolutionized the way that sim works. Now, of course, I gotta give Dovetail Games props for Flight Sim World. Like I said, I love the art direction that they've taken with this. I think it's got a lot of potential. I know they have cloud shadows that they need to implement, however. But Prepared, on the other hand, ironically, Prepared looks like FSX, only 64-bit. There, I said it. As I'm sure you're probably aware by now, there's supposed to be a pretty big panel, a monumental panel that's going to be happening at FlightSimCon. I've asked my good buddy Flight Sim Guy if he would like to share this with you all on YouTube. So when this thing goes live, he will actually be uploading it to YouTube, and hopefully he should be one of the first people to actually break any news that comes out of that panel. The panel is significant because it will be the first time in pretty much the history of flight simulation that we've had all three major flight sims represented in one place at one table, taking questions from the audience. So Lockheed Martin, Laminar Research, Dovetail Games, all three of them are going to be sitting there. And honestly, folks, this is either going to be the most epic thing of all time, or it's going to be Fight Club. Okay, we should be just about in range to start picking up Bradley, so I'm going to see if I can find him on a nearest airport list here, and then we'll grab the weather real quick. Make sure that we're coming down on a runway I think we will be, which should be runway 24. I did do a flight earlier with Flight Sim Guy in one of his aircraft. I think we were in the default 737, and that's the runway that they had us come in on, which is, of course, why I know what the ILS frequency is that I punched in earlier. There it is right there, Bradley International, so we'll go ahead and grab the ATIS real quick.
Bradley Airport information, Echo 1755 Zulu, wind 207 at 9er, visibility greater than 20 miles, sky conditions. Clouds at altitude 6,000, altitude 16,000, scattered, temperature 22, 2.8, altimeter 29092, ILS, runway 24 in use, landing and departing, runway 24, DFR aircraft, state direction of flight, all aircraft read back home short instructions, advise controller on initial contact, you have Echo.
Okay, so we have Echo. Bradley Tower, BelGeode 70 is 27 miles west with Echo to land.
Bradley Tower. Right traffic, runway 2 warp, altimeter 290 warp.
Enter right traffic, runway 24, BelGeode 70. Hey, I called that one. Okay, so now would be a great time to go ahead and put in our procedures. So let's select ILS runway 24, and I think I still have it up on my phone too, so I can take a look at a glance there and figure out how high up we need to be to intercept that glide slope. Alright. Another important consideration, at least for me, when going to a particular flight sim, is how well can I use it to tell my stories. Ever since I was a little kid, I've always been telling stories. My grandmother used to write stories for me, with me as the main character. So that's important for me, especially something as visual that I have so much freedom to create, like in a flight sim. I'm going to level out right here, or at least close to it as I can get. The last time I came through here earlier today with Flight Sim Guy, I believe we came down to about 3,000 on our way into that waypoint, which is the motel waypoint. Reminds me of an old song, Motel, Motel, Holiday Inn. Yeah, I know, I just totally aged myself right there, but you know what? I don't even care. You young kids, you just don't know. You just don't know. Alright, but seriously though, right here should be good. We'll pop outside for a little bit again, and I'm thinking we're going a little too fast, so we might need some speed brakes here. One of the things that I'm going to continue doing is, I'm sure you probably saw with Novawing and Sergio from Heli Simmer that we were doing the 3 Grumpy Simmers thing. There's Bradley Airport over there, by the way. That is our destination for today. Why does it feel like I'm going down? Oh crap, I am going down. Whoops! Gotta remember, this thing does not have an autopilot, so yeah, in order to stay stable, you gotta stay on the ball there. You gotta be Johnny on the spot. But yeah, we started doing that 3 Grumpy Simmers, and we're gonna definitely continue it. We are probably gonna be taking aim at various targets. I don't want to like spoil anything just yet, but everything that comes out of FlightSimCon and everything that happens over the next few months, we are probably going to be dissecting in our little, what would you call that? I guess panel discussion? Yeah, that's probably the closest to what it could be construed as. But yeah, in spite of that, I would kind of like to do these kinds of things a little bit more often as well, where I'm just talking with you guys and sharing my opinions. And bear in mind, let me remind you, they are my opinion. Your opinion may vary. Clear to land, runway 24, BelGeode 70. Okay, well right now our degrees are going to vary as we turn to base leg and get ourselves set up on the Bradley approach. I can tell you a couple of the things that I'm looking forward to at FlightSimCon. First and foremost, I am most looking forward to meeting people. I have quite a few friends that are going to be showing up who are people that I used to be in a VA with back... Oh, crap, I'm doing it again, aren't I? Holy crap, I'm going to talk myself into the ground is what I'm going to do. Alright, stabilize here. And then I'll continue my thought. I'm going to turn to the right here. Set ourselves up on a proper base leg. Okay, I think I can talk and fly again. So yes, I've got friends coming in, people that I used to be in a VA with. Not only that, but I'm looking forward to meeting fellow YouTubers. I've met Cat Strader last year. I'm looking forward to meeting him again this year. I've told him first beer is on me, because I know he's a big beer connoisseur. I don't drink beer as much as I used to, but I don't mind splitting one with him, because Lord knows that man has earned a beer. He just soloed, folks. He is a real-life pilot now. What is going on the radio here? Did she just say experimental on final? Oh, buddy. Well, I am taking my own sweet time here, JetBlue, so I hope you're not in a rush to get wherever you're going. Okay. Alright, so yeah, that was thing number one that I am looking forward to. Thing number two would be the fact that Austin from Laminar Research has stated that he plans on having machines there so that he can showcase X-Plane 11 with VR done his style. So he's going to have like the Oculus Rift there, and instead of using stuff like Fly Inside, he's got stuff that he's been working on that he wants to include in X-Plane that he's going to allow us to sit in and basically show off the sim that way. That I want to see. And then I guess the third thing that I'm really looking forward to for FlightSimCon, I really do hope that April the bartender is still working at the Cloud9 Lounge, because she was absolutely awesome last year, and I swear that woman does stuff to my heart. In a good way, mind you, in a good way. Even if she's not there, all the staff at the hotel, they are the most outrageously good people there, and I really just can't wait to be back in that space again. I love Bradley Hotel, Sheraton Bradley Hotel. I can't say enough about it. Okay, this is where we make our turn to final. So I'm going to stop waxing poetically about the various sims, and we're going to concentrate on this sim because it has been ages since I have landed this aircraft, and I'm not so sure I remember how to. As I make my way in on short final, I just want to remind you, if you have a question, a single question you would like to ask any of the developers, whether it be for scenery or aircraft or sims themselves or whatnot, leave it in the comments below. Throughout the course of the weekend, I will have my phone with me. That's going to be my primary video recording device. I do not have like the full Monty GoPro type stuff there. I do have a camcorder, but it's an old JVC camcorder, so the quality is not the greatest. But with my phone, I do get better quality, and I will be checking it from time to time to see if there are any questions only on this video. None of the other questions on any of the other videos count. You have to leave it on this video. I will try and ask as many questions as I possibly can over the couple of days that I'm there, or even if I manage to corner some of the people at the dinner table or at the bar, like I did with Aerosoft and Orbix last year. This is a classic example of pay attention to what you're doing. Folks, I completely forgot that you cannot pull the power all the way down on this aircraft and expect it to fly. This is gonna hurt. Ouch!
Contact cloud on 121.9er.
121.9er, BelGeode 70. Okay, well, now that my butt hurts. Bradley Ground, BelGeode 70, taxi to the stand. Okay, which is where? Taxiing to stand Alpha 20 using taxiway Sierra, BelGeode 70. Good thing we got the cheat sheet. It's been a while since I've used the cheat sheet, but there it is. You can see all the little arrows right there. That's our cheat sheet. Okay, well, sorry about the landing. Yeah, I don't know what came over me. I guess I was more excited about talking to you about this event that I really wish you all could have attended with me. However, there's always next year. But I do promise you this, I'm going to try and stay online as much as I possibly can and share with you all the events as they happen throughout the 2 days of the event. I may even share some of the before and after convention stuff, because invariably there's all kinds of good stuff happening. I'm sure if you saw the video that I put up last year, Elmo even made an appearance in the middle of our Cards Against Humanity session. I can't make this stuff up, folks. I cannot wait to get to this location in real life. I'm really looking forward to it. Alrighty, folks. That is pretty much going to be it for me, so I'm just going to go ahead and park, and we'll set about turning everything off before I tell you all goodbye. So yeah, normally if I'm going out of town, I would probably do like some Black Desert or some Star Wars The Old Republic, or maybe some Fallout 4, you know, some kind of filler games. Unfortunately, I will not have time to do that this time, so this will have to do before the event, and then throughout the event you'll be seeing those little videos pop up from me. Okay, I think I've gone on enough about that, so let's go ahead and start turning everything off here. I'm thinking, what's the easiest way to do that? Nope, this is not DCS. You can't just hit the throttle and have it come off. You gotta flick the switch like so. There we go. Alright, engine's off. Now we can start turning everything off. So anti-ice, you are off. Let's get some lights off. Beacon, nav, strobes. And we'll start hitting all the switches over here. So de-ice. Let's see. GNS 400, radar altimeter, engine instruments. Avionics switch, emergency generator, main generator, turn off the inverters, avionics. We'll leave the battery on for a second here while I make sure everything's good. Oh wait, what do we have here? Pitot heat, turn you off. Oxygen, we can turn you off. And fuel. Come on, fuel, work with me here. Good grief. Okay, well, it's going to take me a while to get this stupid fuel uncocked here. So thank you as always for watching. This has been BelGeode. I've been flying in Microsoft Flight Simulator X Steam Edition. This is the Pre-FlightSimCon 2017 episode. So expect there to be more good stuff coming in the very, very, very near future. If you enjoy what you've seen, and if you had fun with my landing, please feel free to give me a like. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so. I will catch you on the next one. So, for now, ciao.